Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the prequel story to the Jujutsu Kaisen anime that ended up becoming one of 2020 and 2021's biggest anime hits. But while it's definitely another solid Shonen Jump movie, it doesn't just work as a great prequel to a good anime series with tons of great animation, great characters, and awesome fight scenes, but I think it honestly works as a film even if this is the first thing in Jujutsu Kaisen that you're experienced with. So whether you're a fan of the series or whether this is your first time going through it, I think it's definitely worth your time. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story follows Yuta Okkotsu. He's a boy who ended up having a relationship with a young girl named Rika Orimoto until she was run over in a horrific traffic accident. When she died, however, Rika Orimoto happened to become the Queen of Curses, whose singular emotion of constantly being in love with Yuta has fueled her to attack anyone who bullies Yuta, which is many people considering his shy and meek personality. So when Satoru Gojo happens to prevent his execution by the Jujutsu higher-ups and decides to have him help out his other students, Maki Zenin, Toge Inumaki, and Panda, basically Yuta ends up trying to make some friends, and he ends up trying to break the curse that Rika has, while also helping out the Jujutsu sorcerers of Jujutsu High the best way he can, by dealing with Satoru Gojo's completely insane former best friend, Suguru Geto. But that's all I'll say about the story. Whereas the original series had Yuji Itadori as its main character, and he definitely was an extrovert who's very easy to get along with, Yuta is his exact opposite. And honestly, that makes him an interesting character in his own right. Especially because it works with the development of his movie of him becoming more confident and him going from wanting to die to feeling like it's okay that he's alive. And on top of that, we get more information and more development for other characters who were shown a lot in the first season, but who we didn't get too much background information on. We get a lot of stuff with Maki Zenin and the Zenin clan. We get some cool action with Panda and Toge. We even get some great cameos from other characters who either showed up in Season 1 or who are going to be more important in future seasons, such as Nanami and Aoi Todo and Mei Mei. Basically, if you're a huge Jujutsu Kaisen fan from the manga or the anime, you'll get a kick out of a lot of these appearances. But of course, this is a Mappa Shonen Jump film, so of course the action's got to be a major focus, right? Well, it is. Thankfully, Sung-Hoo Park and his team at Mappa deliver some action scenes that not only match the insane action of the TV series, they surpass them. But that's to be expected when you have a film budget when it comes to this sort of thing. Everything from the cursed speech attacks to Panda's different forms, to Yuta and Rika when they work as a double team, to almost everything that Geto does. All the special moves in the film look absolutely great, and the cursed spirits look even creepier in this film than they did in the original series, mainly because it feels like this one embraces its more horror-based designs a bit more, especially some of the early curses, and especially some of the early curses that show up before Geto does. It feels like something out of a genuine anime horror film, and considering that anime usually doesn't handle horror very well, I was pleased to see that these curses were able to scare me while also being there for good fights. But on top of that, there's just a real heart to the story that makes Yuta such a relatable protagonist, and also makes him definitely better at the whole depressed kid who becomes a better person story than someone like, say, Mirai from Platinum End. Granted, this isn't a perfect movie, mainly because we don't get to know Rika very well as a human. Don't get me wrong, she's amazing as a monster, and I definitely buy the relationship between her and Yuta. It's just that outside of her loving Yuta, we don't know that much about her as a human being before she ends up dead and then ends up as a cursed spirit. But that I would have just preferred her to be fleshed out a bit more before the whole plot got started. But aside from that, Jujutsu Kaisen 0 absolutely earns its place as another one of the shonen greats. And honestly, it just makes me anticipate the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen all the more. That's why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. See you next time.